So we got one down here from Caleb. What should I do if I'm uncertain on which branch of special operations I want to join? I'm already 26, so the Marines is out of the picture because they don't have a contract to go straight to special operations. So I'm torn between PJ, SEAL, Rangers, or Green Berets. Dude, Google, YouTube. Like, you really got to dive down the rabbit hole to understand what you're going to do. And I would just tell you from those, they're all very different. They're the same, but they're very different. PJ is definitely out far and to the right. SEALs, Rangers, Green Berets, MARSOC, they're all pretty similar in culture, similar in jobs. The PJ stuff is just very, very different. And I just tell you, Caleb, if you're not really fucking smart, PJ's, you know, man, I'm going to hop on ChatGPT. I bet you PJ's probably got one of the highest attritions, not for people quitting, because people just aren't fucking smart enough to do it.
Yeah.
PJ's very difficult, dude. 18 Delta is a very hard program. And I, as a layman, I can tell the difference between a really good PJ and an 18 Delta. PJs are, they're extremely fucking smart, man. And that's a very, very hard course. And I'm not going to talk shit on CCTs because I love those guys, but that's the joke when I used to teach with those guys. I know you heard it too. What's the hardest part about a CCT selection? First 2 weeks of PJ school?
Yeah.
It's like, it's fucking hard, dude. It just is, man. But if you're trying to save people and you want to be a really, really, really good combat medic, PJ is the way to go for. If schooling is not your jam, it ain't my jam. I couldn't make it through PJ. Like, I'm not going to say that. I definitely could. I don't want to because I fucking hate school, man. I just do. Saving people ain't really my top of my priority list. Definitely not back when I was 17. I just want to go to war and shoot people. I wouldn't try to save anybody. But I would tell you that the physicality that goes into every single selection course is pretty much universal. If you're even thinking about going anything special operations, your physical screen test to get in, that's your resume. If you don't crush it, you ain't going, dude. Everybody who shows up to be a PJ, go through BUDS, RIP, 18 X-ray course, they're physical freaks, and you have to be to get in. So if I was you, I would go to stewsmith.com and I would download one of the prep courses and I'd do it. And then I'd spend an exuberant amount of time on YouTube, Wikipedia, and really start to research all the different units and really see what you want to do. I mean, I know it sounds fucking kind of hokey, but go on Sean Ryan, dude. Watch PJ interviews. See about the job. See how passionate they are about the craft. See what it takes to actually perform at a super high level. There's a bunch of real badass PJs that are all on IG now that put out some really fabulous content.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody across the Airforce, all the guys. There's a bunch of dudes now. It's not like it was when we first joined. There's nobody out there. You read old Devils of Green Faces and shit like that. I mean, like, there's a bunch of new... It's 2025, and there's a lot of information out there. You just really got to make sure you're going the right route. Because the last thing you want to do is you join the Air Force to be a PJ, you don't make it, and then what? Now you're stuck in the Air Force. A lot of guys want to do one specific job. That's like me. When I joined the Navy, I only joined to be a SEAL. I don't want to be in the Navy. I don't want to be an EOD guy. I don't want to be a boat guy. I don't want to be a fucking diver. I don't want to be a bosun's mate. I don't want to be a hospital corpsman. I don't want to do any of that. The only thing I want to do is be a SEAL. And if I get stuck and I don't make it, I am stuck in a regular Navy for 4 years. That to me would be a death sentence.
Yeah.
Really make sure you're ready. Make sure you're joining for the right reasons. 26 doesn't scare me.
No.
But yeah, man, I mean, culturally, they're all different. I'd say MARSOC and the teams are probably the most close that I've seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, do some homework, but make sure you're ready physically. If you've got any questions, again, I'd hit up Stu Smith. Just Google him. He's made a selection course prep for everyone out there. And to me, if he says it, it's gospel. I've done it. Joey's done it. Everybody I know has done Stu's program to get through their selection courses. And if I had to go back tomorrow, he'd be my first phone call. He just would. Like the program we do here with Vernon, the GPS performance program, that's my favorite program I've ever done. That is not the program I would do to get ready for selection. That is the program I would do after selection, and definitely that's the program I would do to get myself to a high level of fitness, and then I would polish specifically around a screen test selection. So if you've got 6 months, don't even fuck around with another program. Download Stu's book and just start cranking it and go for there. You make it through selection, you can adopt a different performance program. It's going to give you longevity, strength, power output, mobility, all the other stuff. But you got to get ready for the screen test. Got to get ready for selection, man. I was talking to Manny yesterday. I think I'm going to call Stu. and
Yeah.
see if he wants to come down here and do an interview.
That'd be cool.
Because I'd like to ask him, what do you think is the hardest selection course to prep for?
That's actually a really good question.
Because, I was talking about it. In my eyes, everything I've been exposed to, buds is the most physically demanding. I don't think many people would argue that. But you look at some of them like, dude, I think the Army's got like a 20 or a 30-mile ruck march.
Yeah.
You think about individual evolutions to train for, that's very different. You have to build up a serious tolerance. So that's what I'd like to ask him. Like, what singular evolutions, like, there might be some crazy swim in PJ school or some tread for 25 minutes, no hand. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's
Whatever that
individual
crucible is, pretty
evolutions
much.
inside of each selection course that are fucking grueling.
Yeah.
And you really have to train for them. That's why I like him, because he breaks them all down. Knot tying, the 50-meter underwater swim, combat side stroke, all the little ancillary things that just rob you of bandwidth and deflate your confidence. He bolsters it by just practicing those things. Now you don't have to think about it. But everybody's got a nightmare at some point in their selection course, and it's up to you to educate yourself with as much information as possible, dude. That way you don't go in blind. Because the worst thing you want to do is, God, I really want to be a PJ, and you realize they spend a significant amount of time in the water, and you're like, oh, I hate the fucking water.
Yeah.
Well, one stroke on Google would have solved all your issues for you. So do a little homework, man.
Do some homework, and if you're really stuck, because I kind of went through the same thing before I joined the teams. Was in college when 9/11 kicked off. Started doing all the research. That was before Google had this thing, so it was a lot of book reading and talking to recruiters. Something's going to stand out between one of those programs, whether it's a specialty, whether it's the community, or some type of mission set, such as Green Berets. A lot of guys really enjoy that advise and assist piece. They enjoy the language part of it, learning that new language. Rangers with their legacy through a lot of the operations from, Somalia on, obviously team guys. What stood out with me amongst those, just for the SEALs, was their legacy from Vietnam. The fact that they were highly hunted meant that they were really pissing off the enemy. And the water aspect is what I loved about the teams. PJ, same thing. Like, if you want to be one of the most high-level tacticianers in medical combat medicine, PJ is the way to go. Like, I wouldn't, if I had a choice between a PJ and a high-level corpsman running at me on the battlefield, I would look towards PJ to reach to me first, just because their knowledge base, like you said, the educational part's super, super high, and it's super, super selective, and they do it under duress and stress. Like, they will get you stable as best they can, and can do that without really thinking about it. I mean, all the PJs I've ever seen in action have blown my skirt up.
I was going to say it too, man. Like, I don't want to be a dick. I don't want to be a dick. But I said it the other day, they were like, what units have impressed you the most about capability and all that? I'm like, without being kind of a fanboy, TF-160, 100%.
Yep.
They will blow your fucking mind with how good they are. From the crew chiefs to everybody in between, that whole flight crew, amazing. Like, amazing. Outside of that, 724th PJs and CCTs. Like, every PJ is awesome. Everybody. When you get to that level, their medical knowledge goes up so high. The CCTs can manage so many assets, but they can also do everything else you have to do. They have to be able to do it on the same level, because they're augmenting you. So they got to be great at CQB. Their shooting's got to be shit hot. Their jumping's got to be spot on. They've got to be able to dive, and they have to be able to bounce back and forth with two of the tier 1 units doing their tactics and then switching and doing their tactics.
Yeah.
You have to know them both. To me, it's one of the most impressive things, because they make the transition. Maybe we just got lucky. I don't think so, because I taught the selection course. They're fucking terrific, man. They just are. You'll never hear anybody I've ever met say anything bad about those dudes.
No.
But they're shit hot, man.